My fellow Subaruers and non-Subaruers. I don't even know what that means. What's going on, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. We have so much stuff to do today. It is a little bit stressful. So I need to go to the bank to go get money for Kyle to be able to pay him since he's fabricating the 17 STI. I asked him if he's all right with getting it all in ones. So I'm gonna try to get it all in ones. I don't know if the bank's actually gonna do that or not. Then we gotta go up to the mod garage. I have to like finish building this car real quick. And then we're gonna head down to Fuse Fabrication today and go check out what's going on with the EG33 STI, because Kyle said he's working on it today, so I have a feeling the exhaust manifolds are gonna get done for that thing, which means we could probably get turbo placement done. Hopefully, that's the goal. That is my goal for today if we can do it. And I have a live stream tonight that may have to get moved a little bit if we are running short on time. But let's go to the bank. Let's go do bank things. So went up to the bank, got cash for Kyle, back at the mod garage again, getting this STI done behind me. Oh, that's so bright. I gotta move this WRX that just got 6-speed swapped. With this STI, all I have left to do is get the fuel pump in, get the intercooler. Oh my God, dude, that fridge smells like straight death. All I've got left to do is get the intercooler on, the fuel pump in, fill it with coolant, prime the oil system, start it, burp it, and then that one will be done. And then I can go down to Fuse Fab. So I'm giving myself like 2 hours to be able to do all this. I think I can do it. Let's see, let me move this thing first. This thing doesn't want to run. The map sensor in it, it's got the wrong map sensor in it, so it's freaking out a bit, so it tries to die, so hopefully that one doesn't die on us. Dude, that fridge smells like straight death. All right, let me come in here. I'm probably gonna have to set the camera down for this one because this car does not like to run. Oh boy, I am sitting super low today. Woo! Yeah, let me set the camera down real quick. Not having the right map sensor in your car makes it run like poo. All right, let's get this one down on the ground. Come on down so that way I can finish you. Do 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 do. Boop boop boop, skadoo bop boop boop. Skidoo bop bop, skadoo boop boop, skadoo boop boop boop, skidoo bop, skadoo boop boop. So I was gonna film showing you guys how to reinstall an engine, but I wanted to get this thing done so fast. So yesterday at this time, there was no engine in this car. So from 1 day's worth of work, I was able to get it pretty much done. If I felt a little bit better last night, I probably would have finished it. Just like I said, just got to get the intercooler in, the fuel pump in, fill it up with coolant. It's pretty much good to go at this point. So I intentionally did not bring my tripod with me because whenever I bring the tripod, I try to like set it up all the time and then just like bloop, disappear for a little bit. So we're gonna mob through this. Let me get that fuel pump out back there. Went ahead and just yeeted this fuel pump assembly out of the back seat. Like I said, I didn't bring my tripods. There's not really a way to set up a time lapse back there, but got the fuel pump assembly out. Have the new fuel pump right here. It's DW300C. If you guys are curious on how to remove these fuel pumps, I've shown you guys before. You got to remove the back seats in the GD chassis. It's located right there. 8mm bolts hold it in, disconnect the fuel line, and pop it right out. I'm trying to get this ish done today. So let's get this new fuel pump reinstalled on there and get this thing back in the car. Bam, fuel pump is in, was not too bad, did not take me too long. Next up is my arch nemesis, the top mount intercooler. Every single time I go to do these cars, this thing is always my nemesis. It just never wants to cooperate with me. So right here we have the stock intercooler. It has a Grimspeed Y-pipe kit on it. Here's the new Grimspeed intercooler. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of top mount intercoolers. People love them for some reason, but it's all right. It's all right. They have their purpose. They serve their purpose. They serve their purpose well. So Y-pipe kit's gonna go from here onto this one with our new gaskets that Grimspeed provides us. We're gonna get this thing and bolts up just like stock. So I'm probably gonna have to fight with this for like 25 minutes, but we're making good time because I want to get down to the fabricator like ASAP today to see what's going on with the other car. So as expected, with any engine build or any project, there's always the potential for problems. This car is of no exception. This car got a clutch replacement done I think it was a couple of years ago, maybe a couple months ago, by another local shop that did some shady, half-assed work, where on the clutch master, they used like an RTV silicone. They used an RTV silicone and they removed the OEM seal on the cap. And because of that, it let moisture into the clutch master and it probably killed the internal seals. And now the clutch master is leaking, so we can't bleed the clutch. And there's no point in me even getting the intercooler on the car to be able to try to start it, because then I'm just gonna have to take everything back off to be able to replace the slave cylinder. So I gotta replace both the slave cylinder and the clutch master on this car. I really don't want to. Those are not fun parts to swap out. I'm gonna do it because I'm not gonna like leave the car for someone else to like have to deal with, but with every engine build, there's always exceptions. But let me turn it over for you guys because this thing sounds super healthy. So we got our 06 STI here. I have the fuel pump and the crank position sensor disconnected right now, but just listen to this thing. So I feel relatively confident with this engine build, just like I do all of the other ones. There's a couple smaller things I need to just clean up and take care of, which I'm gonna knock out now. After I get that done, we're probably gonna head down to Fuse Fabric, or we are going to. We're gonna head down to Fuse Fabrication. We're gonna go pay Kyle, and we're gonna go work on the EG33 fabrication stuff, which your boy's pumped for. So let me wrap up a couple smaller things here. It's like connecting up the MAF sensor, reconnecting the fuel pump back up, crank position sensor, just so that way when it does come time for me to start this thing, all of this smaller stuff is already taken care of. So let me knock this out real quick. Back down at Fuse Fab. So Kyle is playing with the exhaust manifold stuff, and we're talking about what we're playing with the radiator stuff too, to get the radiator fill cap onto the coolant crossover pipe in the engine bay of the STI. So while he's doing manifold stuff, I'm gonna end up pulling this thing off for him. He's notching up the tube that's gonna come directly up off of it. I'll pull the dealio off of here, and we'll get some stuff going on. But let me show you guys kind of where the car stands right now and kind of what the game plan is. So we've got one of the exhaust manifolds down there already bolted up on the car. It's pretty much all welded up with the exception of where it meets up to the flange, just because Kyle's gonna weld the inside first and then the outside. So right now we're focusing on getting the radiator fill tube. Because the radiator sits right under the core support right here, there's just no room to be able to put a fill cap right there. So we're just gonna put it right off of the coolant crossover. It's gonna come up sitting a little bit high. You guys will see what it looks like. It'll clear the manifold. It'll look perfect. That thing will pull right off. We can get it shaved down, get the powder coat off of there, weld it on, stick it back on there and see how it looks. But if you guys remember from last time too, we got the intercooler, the radiator all on here, working on the exhaust manifold stuff. We should have the turbo mocked up next week at some point, where it's actually gonna be mounted up on the exhaust. Remember, it's gonna sit right here, clocked a little bit. It's gonna look pristine. Yo, let's just have it come out the hood. Just like that. Yeah, so this is kind of where we're thinking for the radiator fill right there. A lot of other people that I've seen of like 6-swap Subaru do something similar in this location. I mean, you're so limited on space in these cars that there's just not a huge amount of room. We have so much real estate in the back, but when it comes to like doing anything up here in the front, we're working with the space that we got. It's not bad for space. We got some space. So the game plan for this upper crossover tube here is Kyle's gonna do a hard pipe that goes from the crossover over to the radiator there, just so we're not having to fight with like weird hose options. This will just be, it'll be the best bet. We're still waiting on the fittings to come in for that, aren't we?
We're using this.
Oh, so that is going to be
This is gonna go from here, and it's gonna have a little coupler.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I like it. I'm digging it. That looks good. Look at that. So we're gonna have this hard pipe coming off of the radiator, going to the coupler, then going to the coolant crossover, and then that's where we are going to burp everything from. I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't have thought of that. If it was me, I'd be like, all right, let's go to AutoZone. Let's go to AutoZone, buy a whole bunch of different hoses and just try to make something fit.
Well, I mean, you gotta make an outlet off of it anyways, and if you did like a straight,
yeah,
then you wouldn't be able to make this bend.
That's true.
So, I mean, that's like the only, you would get there if you're making this yourself.
I think that's how they pretty much came stock too on these engines.
I'm sure.
Because they had like something weird coming off of it. We've got the coolant crossover strapped down to the table, ready for surgery. Kyle already drilled a hole in it, getting everything mocked up right now, but it's coming along nicely. Look at that. Look at that, look at that hole. It's a good looking hole. So as you guys saw, overall game plan for this, this is where our coolant, I guess our coolant fill spot will sit. Radiator is just gonna come straight out like you guys saw with that little coupler that's gonna join up to the coolant crossover coming off of the engine. And then the bypass or the expansion tank or the overflow, call it whatever you want, will flow straight back and then just probably mount somewhere right back there. And that's where we'll have the overflow tank. So, and then like over there will be like in like a catch can or something along those sorts. But the small stuff is really what ties it together. Like everyone's excited for the big stuff, but the small stuff, that's what I'm saying. Small stuff is what ties it together. Like you can put any turbo you want in there, but like the tiny thing, it's all in the details, you guys. The little detail. It legit reminds me of a little castle. It's like a little tower. So now that we've got this worked out for the most part, it still needs to be welded to the radiator. Kyle's working on the other half of the exhaust manifold, the one that comes off of the head, and then we'll end up doing the runners at a later date. But to give you guys like an idea on what goes into making these manifolds, like Kyle has to go through, do like all these tiny little pie cuts on all of these little pieces of steel and then weld them all together. So he takes all of his measurements, he figures out how he wants to route them all, makes all the tiny little cuts, and then welds all the runners so that way they all kind of mate up and match up and whatnot. So kind of cool. I don't know if a lot of you guys actually know how the fabrication aspect of things go. I don't really know too much, so I'm learning. They're not pie cuts? What do you call this?
They're pieces cut out of a bend.
So it's just,
Yeah, so
what is considered a pie cut then?
a pie cut is a piece that's cut from a straight.
Oh.
A piece of straight that's cut at an angle and it makes an actual pie cut. These are actually mandrel bends.
Okay. See? Told you, I'm learning as I go too. Kyle's wrapping up the last little bit of welding going on over there with the driver's side exhaust manifold. Just getting all that stuff worked out. I'm gonna get out of his hair because he is working on this Mazda back here to be able to get that thing out of the shop because he has more cars coming in here in the near future. But this is what we're looking at right now. So we've got this exhaust manifold pretty much done. Just needs to be welded up top at the flange. That's gonna be how this one is too. So they're both gonna be set right here, kind of angled out. Ooh, if I don't hit the camera, they're both gonna be angled out towards us. They're gonna end up wrapping up and around, going behind this frame rail right here, up to the turbo up there. Both of the wastegates are gonna end up coming off the 90 right here and then going off to the side. With the radiator down here, I believe I showed this last time, but the coolant housing was flipped out pretty much 180 degrees, re-welded on, and we're gonna have a hard pipe that goes from this housing over here to the lower part of the radiator, kind of like how we did it up there. I'm just hitting everything with the camera. Kind of like how we did up there, just to eliminate the need to try to get multiple different radiator hoses from like AutoZone and stuff like that to get it all to fit. All right, Kyle's got the plan for the wastegates.
So pretty much it's gonna run off from both sides and it's gonna 90 up like this, and the wastegates are gonna sit like this, one in front of the other like this. That way they have really good flow to the wastegates, and then we can either dump the wastegate straight down or we can 90 them off into the bumper with like a teardrop exit.
That'd be cool. It would shoot fire out the bumper.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah. If it'll shoot fire out of the bumper, I say we just go for it. Bear, you like fire shooting out of bumpers? Yeah, you do. So you guys heard Kyle. The majority of all like the cool fab stuff that I know a lot of you guys are asking for will be going down next week. So as that's happening, I'll be down here, I'll be filming it. I'll probably be a lot more in the way with the camera, just because that's where a lot of the cool stuff's gonna be going down. Right now, it's just kind of the basic stuff of getting the exhaust manifold runners coming off of the head worked out, and some of the ladder of the cooling stuff for the radiator setup. But now that that stuff has been worked out, we can start pushing past that and get into like turbo mock-up and all that stuff. You guys heard Kyle, when the flange comes in, we can get that stuff knocked out. And then once the throttle body flange comes in. He said he'll get that one ordered. We can get that one knocked out as well. So originally I was thinking of using like a like an LS3 throttle body style for the throttle body, but going off of what Kyle says, Kyle does this all the time, so I fully trust Kyle in everything that he's saying with the Fab stuff. So going with that Bosch style throttle body, they're meant for boost, like he was saying. It's the same size as what the intercooler piping already is, so it'll be a perfect fit for what we're doing. But anyways, I think that about wraps it up for this one. I think so. In the upcoming videos, we're gonna be doing some stuff to the 05 STI as well. We're gonna be redoing, so with the addition of the Carlton fender flares that are gonna be going on the car, and with the new wheels going on there, I wanna change the Brimbos on the car. So I've got a set of rebuild kits coming for the brakes. On top of that, I've also got the powder coat that I need to be able to rebuild the brakes, because we're gonna powder coat them to match the wheels a little bit better. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on with the 05. Today, like I said, I ordered the crankshaft for the new engine. I went with a 2019 STI nitrate. I always say nitrated, but people always correct me. Nitrited crankshaft. I've already got the bearings ordered. Tonight I'll order the piston, so then all we need is the connecting rods and to send the engine out. A lot of people pointed out in the last video, when you split open Subaru case halves, like I said, I'm new to building short blocks. This is the first short block I will have built. So while the engine is down at out front, I am gonna have them line hone the center bore where the journals are for the crank. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys on this one. We got all the good Fab stuff coming up with the 17 STI next week. So if you guys liked the video, you know what to do. Go ahead, hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit your boy up one of these corners. No idea which one I will put it in quite yet. But with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies. Woo! That's a very like, woo, Kaiba, woo!